What is time?
Ah, that's a good one. I have no idea.
Nice.
But I can tell you what I do know. Time is a perception. It is only a perception. And time, the perception of time differs from one person to another. Your perception of time is infinitely unique. And it's also changing all the time. I'll give you an example. This one time I was driving out of my walk. It was in California. I was late. I was going to a costume place to buy a tuxedo. Big plans in my head. Switching to first gear. The light is green. I go out and I look and I see a bus coming. Now the bus is not slowing down. It's 6 o'clock. It's a rainy day. It's dark. It's winter. What is happening? It took me a split second. I'm in a big car. It's slow. It's heavy. It's a truck. When I realized that the bus is going to hit me, I know there was nothing I could do. The car is not going to move faster. Time slowed down. I remember time slowing down. I remember my life flashing before my eyes. People tell you that. You're nodding. You probably had that experience too. But time slowed down. I had time to think what to do. Get the food after break. I heard somebody saying it once, because if the car is not going to be, a lot to move, it's going to be a jolt. Turn the wheel away from the bus to minimize the impact as much as possible. What happened? How could it be that my sense of time has slowed down? Time is flexible. It's not a constant. We think it's a constant, but it's not. The constant linearity of time is there, but the names that we've given it are human-made. There's no such thing as a minute in the Bible. If we go to the ancient teachings, if we go to the oldest books that we have, then we see there's no such thing as hour, there's no such thing as time. Humans decided that the best thing will be to divide the day to 24 hours and every hour to 60 minutes. And I have no idea about the history, and it doesn't matter. What we need to understand is that our perception of time dictates how we function in the world. And I'll give you an example. You can sense that time goes by really, really fast when you're having a blast. And you can sense that time goes really, really slow if you're bored or if something is bothering you. Right? It's crazy. There is another piece to the puzzle that has to do with time. That is the essence of Hebraic metaphysics, of practical metaphysics. Practical metaphysics says that we don't think with one mind. We don't perceive reality with one mind only, but with two. A feminine mind and a masculine mind. They're different, they're completely different. And not only they're different in the functions that they serve, in our body, in the way we act, in what we do, but they also differ in the manner with which they function, the minds themselves. The masculine mind is three-dimensional in time, but has only one dimension in space. The masculine mind thinks. Your perception of reality is made out of two different things. The first one is your thinking. You're thinking right now, oh, there was a sound, something fell. What was that? Oh, doesn't matter. Let me look at Aerez again, Ovadia. Right? You're thinking. It's a thought. Oh, how much change should I get at the store? Should I go to this event? Should I not? Oh, it's empty. I wish it would full because I like Ovadia and I want him to be happy. You're thinking. It's cerebral. It's a sensation of sort, a knowing of sort. But there is another mind. It's the mind that experiences. When you're not thinking, when somebody touches you, you know you've been touched. Not just because the body has senses, but the senses of the body has to pass through your mind. Right? You have to know consciously that you're thinking. I remember this movie about Vietnam. I don't know which movie. I was trying to look on YouTube, couldn't, which is a good thing, because this guy, he's the head of the platoon. And he's fighting and he's talking in the thing, and his company, is like they're dying. They need the backup and be rescued. His hand, his arm is gone. And he doesn't realize that it's gone because he's on the phone. And one of his guys tell him, your arm. And then he looks at it and then it hurts. So he didn't know. He has no conscious awareness that his hand is chopped. With no conscious experience, there is no knowing. Only when he saw it, then he thought about it. And a couple seconds later, they show he has to go back to the phone. So he goes back and then he's no longer thinking about it. He's thinking about something else. But he feels it. And so two different minds. Now the mind that thinks, our thoughts can go back in time. You can think about yesterday. You can think about when you were a kid. You can think about the future. Most of us do. Too much. Right? I want this, I want that. What's going to happen tomorrow? When will I? You travel in time. But the mind exists only in one place. The thought exists only in one place. It does not go anywhere. It's only in here. It's only in your mind. It does not move in space. Whatever does not move in space, whatever doesn't have a form is metaphysical. Your thoughts are metaphysical. You can't count your thoughts. If it's unquantifiable, it's metaphysical. But the other mind that feels reality and gets input from the senses always counts. It's the feminine mind. Where is the money? When do you want to go? It's time. It's the mind that keeps track of time. It's the mind that relates to reality as something that can be interacted with. And something that can be interacted with can usually be counted. Can be, if not quantified, then qualitatively evaluated. Because it's real. But you can't say, oh, this thought with this thought, but in the physical world, you have 3 dimensions of space. Right? I can be here. My brother is in Israel, 8,000 miles away. But he's in Israel now. Not 2 minutes ago, not 2 minutes from now, a different time in Israel. But it's always the present moment. And so the feminine mind is always present. Always. The masculine mind is never present. And here we're accessing the most basic principle of Hebraic metaphysics. For each and every one of us, one of the mind is usually dominant. So if it's hard for you to stop your mind, if you're like me, blah, 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 all the time, you're polarized to the masculine mind. But if you can stop your mind relatively easily, even if not for a long time, you can sit down. Hello, my friends, come sit. We're talking about time. If you can stop your mind, even for a few moments. Sometimes I ask people, can you really stop your mind? I asked Diane, she's like, well, yeah, I mean, I sit down in the morning and I meditate. And sure, I mean, not for a long, long time, and sometimes, but yes. People who can stop their mind, like this guy right here, a friend of mine, Kelly Chadwick, he tells me, you can also be, you told me once, we were in the kitchen, I remember, and you told me, you can stop your mind. And I looked at him and I said, fucking bullshit. No fucking way I can stop my mind. It's racing like a motherfucker. Too fast. Right? The masculine mind, never present. So we have different experiences of time. Some of us are more present than others. And time is called the hidden dimension of the mind in metaphysics. And that's what I know about time.